Young Thug and the Young Slime Life, which they're trying to say is Young Stoner Life and not a gang.
What does slime mean? I mean, what?
Slime Life? You don't know Slime Life?
Welcome back to This Week in Money.
This Week in Money.
This week, Tucker Carlson gets the boot from Fox News.
I gotta throw a zin in remembrance, R.I.P. to Tucker.
This comes after Fox settled a major defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting.
The rumor, actually, that I've been seeing on my corners of the internet is that he is fired for porking Rupert Murdoch's ex-fiancée of 2 weeks, Anne Leslie Smith. So apparently she thinks that he's the son of God. At one point she said that to Rupert. And, to me, this would actually make sense of why you would cancel the #1 live talk show host of America's primetime network at 8 p.m. So,
is he going to go to Rumble? So. Is he going to go pull like a Glenn Beck?
He could go to Newsmax, OAN if that's still around. There's a lot of fine opportunities for Tucker on the far-right conservative media.
He's just a comedian, man.
I mean, that's the defense, though, because he was really a failing journalist until he and Rupert told him at one point, this is your last shot. He kind of bit the hard right stance. I personally don't believe that he actually believes what he's saying, but he used it in a way to galvanize a country to be one of the most important people in the narrative of everything that's going on. And depending on your political view, did a lot of harm or a lot of good for certain groups of people. This week, Elon Musk accidentally revealed his burner account. On Monday, Musk shared a screenshot of the navigation menu on his main Twitter account to show people the subscriptions feature, and certain fanboys noticed that there's another account there. That account, ERMN Musk, ended up being his test account, which now has close to 30,000 followers, but at the time it didn't.
I can't say that I'm surprised.
He had some funny comments on this. My favorite of which was when Michael Saylor was posting something about Bitcoin, he comments, "Do you like Japanese girls?" Not sure what he meant by that.
First Republic stock falls as deposits plummet. Shares were down almost 30% on Wednesday, extending losses of almost 50% on Tuesday. It's rumored that the FDIC might take the bank into receivership.
That sounds like a sexual position to me.
Receivership? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does sound pretty funny.
It's like the FDIC is pegging Signature Bank for their lack of funds. That $30 billion was infused by 11 larger banks, and it looks like they still need more money or may potentially go into receivership.
What is going on with the banks, Mark? Why can't your former employers keep the ship fucking rolling? Why do they gotta lever it? What's going on?
Hey, listen, I never worked for the big banks, Brian. I worked for the small mom and pop banks, real homegrown banks, just working on pure advisory, really trying to create shareholder value. So, we didn't contribute to any of these systemic risks. My former colleagues definitely didn't. This is just, all of these guys on Twitter who are causing these runs on the bank. This is all coming off the back of Silicon Valley Bank. A lot of turmoil going on here, but what started this was them taking a lot of risks with startups, and now you start to see the actions of and the consequence of these actions of when things like this happen, which is a modern day bank run. Google had a Kodak moment last year, giving the edge in AI. What does that mean? Kodak, that they once had the lead in what they were doing, that they lost it by not innovating. So Google last year, when it came to artificial intelligence, they essentially fell behind when Microsoft announced plans to integrate ChatGPT. I still don't really know what it is. ChatGPT, the P stands for what? Penis, into some of its cloud computing products as it looks to infuse AI across its business. In response, Google launched its own chatbot called Bard AI this year and has begun to test it. But Brian, look, as a big proponent of AI, I've used Bard, hate it. I've used ChatGPT, also doesn't work well for me, but I ended up not being on the right browser that time. So what do you think about all this?
What browser were you on?
Well, I was on my incognito and I thought I was on It's just, long story short, we don't need to get into it here.
I mean, look, Microsoft beat Google to the market, and clearly ChatGPT struck a chord. I think it was one of the fastest apps to 100 million users. Honestly, I think that Google is there with it. I mean, I know Bard isn't as good as it, but it will eventually get better. If you think about the amount of data that Google has has about us and what people are searching.
Too
on
much
the internet.
data.
Way too much data. I mean, look, Google, I think, knows more about me than I know about myself. So I think by being able to kind of leverage their AI, I mean, you're already seeing it pop up. I think Google just launched a feature to enable people to create AI-generated advertising. Oh, that's going to be fun. Can't wait to see what kind of weird quirks end up on that one. But yeah, man, it's the AI race, you know, who's going to win? So we'll see. Time will tell. Ultra Right beer brand is expected to
Called Ultra Right?
The Ultra Right.
Okay, the Ultra, got it. Yeah, I get it.
After only being in business for 12 days, they're expected to pass $1 million in sales with 10,000 customers.
Okay.
They sold 20.
All in response to Budweiser's campaign with a transgender influencer. You know, I'm not a big beer guy, but before I stormed the Capitol on January 6th, I taste tested some Ultra Right beer, and let me tell you, it was phenomenal. It gave me and my friends just kind of the power we needed to knock down the barricades, to kill and viciously maul Capitol Hill police officers, and cause a lot of other chaos, because this is America, and when someone does something that I don't agree with, okay, I have the personal right to go in and ruin their lives. So that's how I feel about my Ultra Right beer brand and my beer. Don't put your hands on my goddamn Ultra Right beer, Joe Biden, okay? Unbelievable.
This is all so silly. The whole Bud Light controversy.
It's silly to you.
It's silly.
It's silly. You're trying to respect people, not on my watch. That's why I'm drinking Ultra Right beer.
I'm talking about the Bud Light controversy. I think, you know, got Kid Rock there with a fucking machine gun out back. Fuck Bud Light. It's like, come on. This reminds me of the Nike protests against Colin Kaepernick.
The Venn diagram of people who protested Nike in the Colin Kaepernick deal, then transgenders on Bud Light is like one circle, basically.
I did think that it was surprising that both of the marketing execs behind the campaign took a leave of absence. How about that? Would you stand up for your work?
I would stand up for, I'd stand up for anything I do, and I make a lot of mistakes. Check out my timeline on Twitter, right? But I like to own it, and I think this is just a massive failure of leadership from all around the Budweiser organization.
We'll see how well Ultra Right does in the coming weeks.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, wow, there's even an ad for this?
America's been drinking beer from a company that doesn't even know which restroom to use. That's why I created Conservative Dad's Ultra Right 100% woke-free beer.
Say freedom.
Speak up.
Speak up. Got it. Yep. Which is kind of like the going against what they're upset about, but like don't let me point out the obvious that like America was built on being an ethnic, multicultural pool of immigrants and respecting other people's rights. But you know, that's for Tucker Carlson's later segment on OAN. Brian, another notable thing this week in money is rapper Young Thug, whose most famous lyric is, "I'ma ride in that pussy like a stroller." He has been accused with 13 of his co-defendants for various RICO violations, gun possessions, and allegedly greenlighting a murder for hire. There's been a lot of controversy going on in this case for everything but the case itself. They've been trying to seat a jury for 4 months. This trial is going to take probably 8 to 10 months, they're expecting, so everyone is trying to get out of this. One individual literally took a trip to the Dominican Republic. She comes back, and the judge made her write a 30-page essay.
That's Cap.
That's Cap?
Cap. One of Young Thug's lawyer actually used that term in the trial.
Cap and no cap.
When talking to the judge.
I was saying that it's just not true. It's cap, to be honest. But
I've tried that. That doesn't work. I had never heard that expression until I was on F-Boy Island. I had to be like, guys, let me pause you real quick. What does cap and no cap mean? You know? So I'm team no cap. I don't cap. But they haven't been able to place a single juror in 4 months. So they've granted a lot of waivers for hardship because it's expected to go on for so long. A lot of people can't get out of their jobs. People are also concerned about the potential organized crime connections of the YSL gang.
Can we talk about how one of the lawyers was arrested during the case for possession of drugs and assaulting a police officer?
Well, he was giving his client the drugs, which some, not myself, may argue that's a good lawyer. And allegedly, he only threw the phone to the other lawyer so the police can get it, go through the phone, and it hit the police officer. So I would say that's not really an assault, you know, that's kind of like my bad, I'm sorry part. But that's only one of.
What about one of YSL's lawyers needing to write a 17-page essay on professionalism after he refused to buy lunch for the other lawyers?
How are we doing on that paper? It's 17-page paper on the importance of professionalism in the legal field and treating one's opponents with civility. Paper is to be published quality.
With 20 sources, both direct and indirect, and APA format. Or he would have to spend 20 days in jail. But a non-exhaustive list of other things that have gone on. So the hand-to-hand drug exchange, that was with Percocet. That's in my notes.
What's with this judge?
I mean,
this judge is fucking capping.
This Judge Earl Glanville, honestly, I kind of like his style.
Yeah?
And he's read lyrics from the 2015 amazing song Slime Shit, which includes lyrics such as YSL shit.
Hey, killing 12 shit. Hey, fuck a jail shit. Hey, cooking white brick.
Which makes you know Young Thug, he's about that life, you know? I like my rappers to kill. You know, not hide under a dashboard like 50 Cent. You know, Brian, there's been leaked evidence. You had a juror actually recording what was going on in the selection. And she was like, I'm sorry, I've never done this before. I didn't know I couldn't do that. Yeah, 3 days in jail for her. At one point in the proceedings, they even had to evacuate the courtroom, take one of the co-defendants out into a cell and strip search him. He started screaming so loud you could hear him in the courtroom. And they ended up finding concealed weed in his underwear. But it was actually flavored with salts, so the dogs wouldn't detect it.
How badly do you need to fucking smoke a blunt to go in?
I mean, in jail, probably pretty bad.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be desperate. Like,
Yeah,
I'd be like, you know, anything, please. Get me out of here. I'm not vibing well. Although Shkreli did say I'd do well in jail, so I'm gonna take. The key is you don't join the Aryan gang. You wanna be cool with all the other gangs, so the whites can hate you. I'm cool with that, fuck them, right? And then I'm down with my homies, everyone else. And I kill someone the first day just to show, you know, even if I'm just in there for like white collar fraud, like I'm killing someone the first day, just show I'm no cap. Thank you for joining us on America's #1 no cap money show.
Yo, do you know 500,000 people saw this last week?
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
We're really
okay,
ranking
fuck
up. Yeah. Follow us on Snapchat.
Run it up.
Yeah,
Run it up. Yeah. Follow us on Snapchat.
We'll see you again next week.
Snapchat me that self-censored.